Be honest, does your chest still look flat even though you train it every week? This was me about 3 years ago. I was benching, doing flies, hitting chest every week, and nothing changed. I thought I just didn't have the genetics for a big chest, but the problem wasn't my genetics, it was how I was training. Once I fixed a few mistakes, my chest started growing faster than before. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I changed so you can grow your chest as fast as possible naturally. Without further ado, let's get into it. If your chest isn't growing, it's probably not your genetics, it's not your bone structure, it's not your insertions, and it's definitely not because you need some secret exercise. Most of the time, it comes down to 3 simple mistakes. The first one, you're pressing weight, but you're not actually training your chest. A lot of guys think if they bench press, their chest is automatically growing, but your chest isn't the only muscle involved in a press movement. Your shoulders and your triceps can take over very easily. If you feel your front delts more than your chest, that's a sign. If your triceps are exhausted but your chest barely feels worked, that's also a sign. The goal isn't just to move the weight from point A to point B. The goal is to load your chest properly. If you're just throwing the weight up and bouncing it off your chest, you're leaving growth on the table. Now, mistake number 2, you're not training enough to failure. This one is huge. Most guys stop their set when it starts to feel uncomfortable, when it burns a little, when it gets hard. But growth happens near failure. If you finish your set and you could have done 4 or 5 more reps, that set probably didn't do much for building your chest. For most of your working sets, you want to finish with maybe 1 or 2 reps left in the tank. That's where real stimulus happens. You don't need to max out every set. You don't need to fail every rep, but you need to push hard enough that your chest has a reason to grow. And mistake number 3, you only train your chest once a week. For most natural lifters, especially if you're still trying to build your foundation, training chest twice a week leads to faster progress. You don't need to destroy it every session. What you need is enough frequency to stimulate the muscle. Before you can grow your chest, you need to understand how it's built. Your chest is mainly the pectoralis major. Within that muscle, there are different regions that are emphasized depending on the angle you press from. You've got upper chest, middle chest, and lower chest. It's one muscle, yes, but angles change activation, and that's what we use to shape it. If you train all 3 correctly, your chest looks full from every angle. Let's break them down properly. Let's start with the upper chest. This is the area near your collarbone, the part that makes your chest look full from the side, the part that fills out your shirts. Most guys lack upper chest development. That's why their chest looks flat even if they bench a lot. To emphasize the upper chest, you need an inclined angle, and one of the best exercises for this is the inclined Smith machine press. The reason I like the Smith machine is stability. You don't have to balance the bar. You don't have to think about controlling the side-to-side movement. You can lock in your shoulder position, keep your chest high, and focus purely on driving through your upper chest. That stability allows you to push closer to failure safely. But if your gym doesn't have a Smith machine, inclined dumbbell press is an excellent alternative. Dumbbells allow a slightly deeper stretch at the bottom. Just make sure the bench isn't too steep. Around 30 degrees is the ideal. If you go too upright, it becomes more of a shoulder press, and then your front delts take over. Now let's talk about a powerful upper chest isolation movement, the low to high cable fly. This movement is extremely effective when done properly, but here's where people mess up. They go too heavy. With cable flies, especially low to high, the goal isn't to impress anyone. It's to create tension and control. You want a smooth stretch at the bottom. Bring your hands upward in an arc and squeeze at the top for a second or 2. If you're swinging the weight using momentum, you're missing the point. This movement should feel controlled, focused, and intentional. Remember, the upper chest responds really well to controlled tension, not ego lifting. Now, let's talk about the middle chest. This is your foundation. This is where density and thickness come from. Yes, flat bench press works, but I want to emphasize 2 machines that are extremely powerful when used correctly. The machine chest press and the pec deck machine. Let's start with the machine chest press. This machine is underrated. The reason it's so effective is because it removes instability. It allows you to go closer to failure safely, but alignment is everything. If your sit is too low, you press upward and shift emphasis to your upper chest and shoulders. For middle chest focus, the handles must line up roughly with the center of your chest. Your forearms should be straight, your shoulders slightly pulled back, and your chest up. Control the weight on the way down for about 2 or 3 seconds. Drive it forward with power and don't let the machine control you. Now let's talk about the pec deck machine. This movement is incredible for isolating the middle chest. Unlike pressing movements, the pec deck removes the triceps almost completely. It's pure chest adduction, meaning you bring your arm inward toward the center of your body, but execution matters. Set the seat so that your elbows are roughly in line with the middle of your chest. If it's too high, you target upper chest and shoulders. If it's too low, you target your lower chest. Open your arms wide open and feel the stretch across your chest. Then bring your elbows together in a controlled motion and squeeze hard in the center for 1 or 2 seconds. That squeeze is where a lot of the growth stimulus happens. Don't go too heavy. If the weight is forcing your shoulders forward, it's too much. The pec deck machine is a tension exercise, not an ego lift. Now let's talk about the lower chest. This is the area that gives that rounded full bottom shape, the part that makes your chest look complete. To emphasize lower chest, you need a slightly declined angle. One of the best exercises here is dips. Lean your torso slightly forward. Go deep enough to feel a stretch in your chest. If dips are too difficult for you right now, that's okay. You can use assisted dips or high to low cable fly. With this movement, the cables start higher and you pull them downward in an arc toward your lower chest. Again, don't go too heavy. Cable flies are about control, tension, and stretch. If you go too heavy and start swinging, your shoulders take over and injury risk goes up. Lower chest development is often overlooked, but when you build it properly, it adds that final polished look to your chest. If you want your chest to grow fast, you cannot just spam random exercises. You need structure. In a single chest workout, you should ideally include 1 upper chest movement, 1 middle chest press, and 1 lower chest or cable variation. That way you are covering all regions through different angles. Now that you know how to train your chest properly, there is one thing most people completely ignore. You can do all the exercises perfectly, hit every angle, and still not grow if you miss the growth multiplier. The growth multiplier comes down to 3 things: nutrition, progressive overload, and recovery. Let's break each one down. First, nutrition. You cannot outtrain a poor diet. If you want muscle growth, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Being a calorie surplus simply means eating more calories than you burn. Make sure you're getting enough protein, carbs for energy, and healthy fats to support your hormones. Without enough fuel, your muscle won't have what they need to grow, no matter how hard you train. Second, progressive overload. I mentioned this earlier, but it deserves its own spotlight. Progressive overload means gradually increasing the stress on your muscles over time. That can mean adding more weight to your exercises, pushing out an extra rep or 2, or controlling the weight slower to maximize tension. And third, recovery. Muscles grow when you rest, not when you train. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, around 8 to 9 hours per night, and giving your chest at least 48 hours before hitting it hard again. Managing stress is also important because stress slows down recovery and growth. Even the best chest workout can be wasted if your body isn't allowed to recover properly. Here's the takeaway: train every part of your chest with purpose. Structure your workout consistently and combine that with the growth multiplier. Remember, it's training plus nutrition plus recovery plus overload. If you found this video helpful, drop a like button, subscribe. See you guys in the next one.